Plus, taxing recreational pot. Major changes ahead for retailers, which could cost you, the consumer. We'll explain how.
Today is the filing deadline for federal and state income taxes, but next year is the focus of retailers of legal recreational marijuana in California. They're bracing for a hard hit of a tax code that could pass even higher prices down to their customers.
Joining us with the details on that is Sonia Luna, founder and CEO of the Los Angeles-based accounting firm Aviva Spectrum. She has more than 18 years of compliance, internal and external tax audit experience. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
California recreational cannabis retailers collecting an excise tax from their customers. What is that, and then how is that applied?
So it's a brand new tax. It's 15% on products that are sold, but there's also other taxes. So if you're a cultivator, they charge by the ounce. So if it's wet, dry, the leaves, etc. So it's brand new tax right now for the state. The real debate right now is it too much? Is the black market going to thrive? And so far right now we're seeing an actual uptick in the black market because of those tax rates.
A friend of mine was in one of these facilities not long ago and said he was told the black market is now actually less expensive because there are no taxes than a regular.
Absolutely. I talked to a CEO of a delivery company here in LA. He, for one of his businesses, had 120 patients. As soon as he started collecting taxes, he lost about a third of his patient base because the black market was offering zero taxes on collection. Yeah.
So what is the tax responsibility for cannabis cultivators and distributors?
So if you're a cultivator, your distributor is going to be your middleman. So it's a new regulation. So the distributor will collect that tax based on what you're selling, whether that's flower, leaves, the plant, etc. On the retail side, the distributor is going to collect the tax as well, but that's going to be on the end product heading into the stores. Now the retailer is responsible for collecting the taxes on the consumer, and that's that 15% additional tax, and that doesn't take into account some of the local authorities. They're also taxing some of the products as well.
So it's a major challenge, obviously, for the cannabis companies, but isn't that part of the argument that they made in legalization? Look, you can tax us. This will help government. Isn't that what they said?
They said that, and the question is, what's the ripple effect, right, to the economy? But what I also like to argue is if you have a product like tobacco, the consumer might pay per cigarette, let's say $1, $1.50 for that one item. Now, if you go to a pre-roll, what do you think the consumer should end up paying? Right? It ends up being $11.50 for that one pre-roll with taxes. So what's causing that price difference, right? One of it is the market is very immature right now. It's trying to develop its own infrastructure. It's not very highly automated. The second is this tax structure. They're taxing it throughout the entire channel. So the other item is the federal tax rate. Even though we have a new tax bill and the corporate tax rate could be 21%, when you look at what could be deducted, the federal government still says it's a Schedule I drug, which means that they cannot deduct everything. They can only do cost of goods sold. So if you're a cultivator, your effective federal tax rate might actually be 25% instead of 21%. If you're a manufacturer, I've seen business plans that the effective tax rate has been around 35%. If you're a retailer distributor, you're looking at 45% tax rate. So that's a huge differential at the federal tax level.
American cannabis companies, apparently they struggle with getting lines of credit, even checking accounts. Why is that?
The U.S. Treasury issues your banking charter. So if you are dealing with illegal drugs on a Schedule I, you can have your banking charter pulled. Okay. So no bank wants to take the risk. There was an anonymous study that was done trying to find out if any credit unions, smaller banks, were actually taking on cannabis clients, and only the last study I read had 382 banks that were anonymous that said yes, they're dealing in this industry, but there are 12,000 banking institutions in the U.S. that could. So it's still underground. Banks don't want their banking charters pulled, and that's why they're holding off. So the only access to capital right now are venture capitalists, private, let's say highly wealthy individuals that can offer them money.
Well, obviously this story is going to continue to develop. Once again, Sonia Luna is the founder and CEO of the firm Aviva Spectrum, located in LA. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
thank you,
for having
Sonia.
me.